Cuba, it's me, episode 67 of The Willow Show, which stands for Wrestling is Life, Life is Wrestling. Now today, I am doing the list of questions, part 3. Thank you to everyone who submitted a question. I got about 15 or so far. We got some repeat question askers, and we got a couple new ones, and I'm proud to have the new ones on board. Let's do this. Let's get this started. First question is, and I did them in order on the post on Facebook, Tracy Yeager Eckhart asked, do I ever practice the moves prior to the match? And how much planning goes into the matches? Now, I have in the past. When I first started at the wrestling school, we had to practice our matches before we did them to get feedback from the trainers and whatnot, what we were allowed to do, what we weren't allowed to do. And nowadays, I don't bother with that. Like, it's always good to practice moves all the time, for sure. But as far as, like, when I'm gonna wrestle this guy, no, I don't do that. I'd rather just go out there and do it. That's the way I like to do it. But yes, I definitely have done that in the past. But I'm not big into that now because I don't want to plan it. I don't want to remember 100 million things. I just want to go out there and let the crowd. I don't really want the crowd to dictate it. I want to dictate the crowd, but I want to feel how they are, and then I can play off of that. The next question was from James Jordan, the radio guy, and he says, sharding in the ring or a ring that's been sharded in? Now, okay, yeah, we got some other outrageous questions, but I have to say I prefer my own shit over anybody else's, and that is my answer. Aaron Curran, one of my best friends in the whole world, says, what's the top 3 craziest things I've done in a wrestling match? That one's hard for me. It depends what you mean by crazy. Is it like the risk of getting hurt, the risk of something doing wrong, and fans may think different things. Well, I have to say the one that really stands out to me, I was wrestling this ladder match against Tom Ryder, and we were fighting up in the crowd, and then I ran at him, and he was standing on the very edge of the top of a flight of stairs. So, like, something could have gone really wrong, but he ducked down and back body dropped me, and I flew all the way over the whole flight of stairs, but if I would have landed on my head on those stairs, it could have gone very wrong. So that's definitely number 1. Number 2 for me would definitely have to be when I was wrestling Eddie Osborne in Elements. Most of them are in Elements. And I climbed this humongous ladder. I don't even know how high it was, but the roof was really high there, and they needed them for the lights. It was a humongous ladder, and I climbed all the way to the second to last rung, and I jumped off of it and did a splash, and it was so high up, and it was quite scary when I got up there. Now, I'm not even really that scared of heights. And the third one, I'd have to say catching Suicide Sean Ball when he did a moonsault off of the roof into the parking lot when we did this show in Cambridge, and I caught him, and my elbow smashed on the cement, and my elbow was like so it probably was something wrong with it, but I didn't seek medical attention, and it was so swollen, and like to this day, this is like 8 or so years ago, I still can't really lean on my elbow. It feels like someone's lighting it with a lighter. Okay, Joey Allen asks, do I ever hesitate before pulling off a crazy stunt? My question is no, or my answer is no. I have hesitated one time only, and it's what I was just talking about when I did the ladder onto Eddie Osborne. When I was going up there, I was like, I'm going to do a 450 splash off that ladder. This is going to be so memorable. But when I got up there, I hesitated because it wasn't in the right place, and I didn't think I could pull it off, so I hesitated and did a normal splash instead. But as far as anything else does, I never hesitate, because most of the crazy stunts I pull, I like premeditate them, and I sit there and visualize it. I find if I visualize myself doing it a couple of times, I just have a feeling. I've always had a good feeling if it's going to work out or not, so if it's not something I think will work out, I don't bother doing it. But if I think it'll work out, I just go and do it. There's no time to sit there and second guess yourself. You just go for it. And Joey Allen asks another question. If I ever had to change my name, what would I change my name to? Like, that's definitely an interesting one. I did wrestle as Jam G, which stood for Just Another Mask Guy. And I have to admit, I think I missed the ball on the mask thing. I think if I had done a mask, I could have sold a lot of masks. I could have done a lot more tours. The kids liked it. As far as the name goes, I have no idea what another name would be. I know I should probably answer this, so let me see. I would probably be called Joey's dad. Okay. Lefty Grivet, Nick Lefty asks, what was the first blood match I was in? Now, I wasn't quite sure if he meant was it the first match that I ever bled in, but the great thing is, I bled a little bit here and there, but nothing to just a couple little blood. But then my feud was Jesse Jones. We did a Havana street fight, and I had a pretty good gash on me. And then 2 days later, we wrestled in an actual first blood match. And I didn't bleed, he did, which means I was the winner. And I've had some other bloodbaths. The one I bled the most in out of all the matches was the ladder match against Tom Ryder. I lost quite a bit of blood that night. And so Braden Austin asks, who should induct Undertaker into the WWE Hall of Fame? Now, obviously, Paul Bearer would be my first pick, but he would be unavailable. So my choice would be his brother Kane. But I have a feeling if it ever happened that Vince McMahon might be the one to do it. But I would choose Kane if it was me. And Braden also asked, who was my first ever match against? I have this match. It's still on YouTube. It's actually the first video, I believe, or one of the first videos I uploaded on this channel. It was versus Don Coyote in October of 2000. So it's almost 17 years ago. And I won my very first match. Okay, Tor Hart asks, who's your number one fan? Now, Tor, you know you're definitely one of them. I actually did an episode on this, talking about some of the best fans I know. I think I hurt Billy Anderson's feeling. He definitely is one of my best fans, but I considered him a friend. But I would be wrong if I didn't say my mom and my sister have been my biggest fans and supporters from day one to this day. I honestly don't think I could sleep at night or look in the mirror if I didn't say my mom and my sister. But there's so many great ones. So watch that episode on some of my favorite fans. Let's see. Jeff Thompson, one of the greatest ring announcers I've ever met, asks, have I seen the leaked pics of Charlotte Flair? And, well, the thing about it is, I'm on Messenger, on Facebook Messenger, and sometimes people feel the need to send me messages. And the thing is, you don't know what the message is until you open it up. So yes, someone sent me the pics, and I could not look, because I just opened it, and there it was in my face, and then he says, how do I rank her boobs? Now, I'm more of a vagina guy than a boob guy, but, I mean, boobs are boobs, and, yeah, one was up, one was down, but, I mean, they're nice boobs, and you can touch them, and I would give them a 9. I don't care about where the nipples are placed. So anyway, Sherry Bon Larivieri, did I say that right? She wrote, not a question, she just had a really nice comment, so I just wanted to say thank you. That was a very nice comment. It made me smile big time. It was the highlight of my night, that's for sure. Joshua Hoskins says, what would happen if Ryback and Rob Rage collide? Now, for anybody that doesn't know Rob Rage, I've never met him before, but he's a big-looking guy, and he's an Ontario indie wrestler. And, I gotta go with the hometown. I feel Ryback's just kind of been bitter lately, and he's kind of on a slump. And I think I gotta represent Ontario and go Rob Rage would get the win, and he deserves the win. But I don't know. I think he would win. But who knows until it happens. Then we will all find out. Hopefully it will. Eddie Osborne was listening to Twister, and he says, what is my favorite drink after a wrestling event? Now, I mostly just want to get hydrated, but after any wrestling event, I can't sleep. I'm just like too much adrenaline, and I go through it, and I'm so hard on myself, and I'm like, oh, if I would have just done this one little thing, and so I can't sleep. But my favorite drink choice would be blue. I like the blue. And Eddie Osborne has another question about what's a town I've never wrestled in that I would love to wrestle. Like, I would love to say Havana, Cuba. I'd love to bring more wrestling to Cuba and go down there and be a star. But also, I spent most of my childhood in Campbell River, British Columbia. It would be an honor to wrestle there. So hopefully the crowds pick up, and hopefully instead of Carlito, next time they'll fly me in. But yes, Campbell River for sure. And then Adam Wood, Romeo Adams. I interviewed him on this show. He asked, if I had 1 hour to talk to any wrestler, past or present, who would it be and why? Well, this is my answer. It would definitely be The Undertaker, because for so many years he was my favorite wrestler, but that's not really why. It's because almost all these other wrestlers that I've been big fans of have done all these amazing and podcasts and shoot interviews, and Undertaker hasn't. And I would love to hear his take on a few things. But also I would really hope it'd be in the context, like, it wouldn't just be a fan and he wouldn't want to open up about his stuff. If he saw me as a peer and it was behind closed doors in private and I wasn't taping it, I hope he would, elaborate more. But it would definitely be The Undertaker. Folks, episode 67 of The Willow Show. The List of Questions Part 3. These are some of my highest viewed episodes. I love doing them. I wish I could do them every time, but I try and give it some time in between episodes. But thank you so much for submitting the questions. Now remember, like, or you get a leg drop. Comment, or you get a clothesline. Subscribe, or you get a suplex. I'm your host, Elian Habanero. I love wrestling. Cuba!